Tom Dooley, hang down your head and cry. Hang down your head, Tom Dooley, poor boy, you're bound to die. I met her on a mountain, and there you took her alive. Met her upon a mountain, and you stabbed her with the knife. Reckon this time tomorrow, reckon just where I'll be. Down in some lonesome valley, hanging from a white oak tree. Hey guys, come on in, double sit down, and then let me know if you're hearing my sound adequately. We've got have been having pretty good luck with sound lately, and so I just want to keep the trajectory moving forward. If one of you will say sounds great, that would help me out a ton. It's 44. We'll start in about 2 minutes. And yeah, let's see. I got a text while I was teaching the last class. Kate guitar. Kate's going to reschedule, and tomorrow. Yeah, come on in, guys. Let me, if one of you will toss over here that you can hear me fine, that would be helpful. If nobody does, I'll assume you can hear me fine. So we'll do that. All right, let's get rid of this guy. We'll start here in about a minute. All right. You guys are quiet today. All right. We'll assume that you can hear fine. Right? All right. I got 546. Link is live, so hopefully you guys can, you're here on purpose. And if not, I'm sure that there's a pretty little girl who has a guitar teaching this exact same thing. You can go listen to her. All right. Let's get tuned up. Today's level 2. So level 2, we make a couple of assumptions. One is that you know how to tune your guitar. 2 is you know how to hold your guitar. And 3 is that you know how to play a melody from tablature. So those are sort of the big takeaways from level 1. Also that you know your main chords. Today we have a D chord and an A7 chord. Those are, again, industry standard guitar stuff, and so you're going to want to be solid with those 2 chords. And every song on level 2 is a 2-chord song almost. I think this old man has 3 chords, but for the most part, everything's a 2-chord song. And the purpose behind them is to get you comfortable getting from the main chord to its buddy and back. That's all that this level is really designed to do, in addition to teaching you how to play chord melody, which is what we work on pretty heavily through level 2. And really start dialing in those individual techniques, those tools that you need to be a great guitar player. And hopefully you'll take the tools and do more with them than I do with them, and you'll outplay me in no time. And that's what you're here hopefully to do, is just prove that you got your tools in great shape and that you're ready to move on to level 3. All right. Tom Dooley. Let's talk briefly about the song. The song is nothing. It's a lot of cowboys, a lot of old guys. They like this song. I don't know. It's got a good melody. It's really fun to play. The story is this guy, Tom Dooley, went up on a mountain and killed this girl, and then they're going to string him up, and that's the song. It is dumb. If you're going to write a song, hey Jim, you're going to be worn out. Your fingers are going to be worn out. Jim, I'm going to assume you can hear me. So if you're, please let me know if the sound is weird. Uh, uh, if you're going to write a song, when you should not write about the kill you should write about the kill e. That's how this is how I think. And Tom Dooley is about the kill which is weird in my head. Tom Dooley was a real guy. He was a Confederate soldier, and apparently there was some sort of love tragedy that went on in his neighborhood, and he apparently went up and killed this girl, Laura Foster, and then there was a national outrage, and the trial was sensational and all this stuff. And so that's the song we're dealing with. It's again, I think the song is super weird, but I do think it's a great opportunity to just put all of the pieces and parts together that you've been working on through level 2 to your advantage. Let's run through the chords and we'll sing it real quick. Index finger up here on the 3rd string, 2nd fret, middle finger, 1st string, 2nd fret, and then ring finger out there. That's your D chord, and that should be part of who you are at this point. Okay, sounds beautiful. We usually recommend you strum 4 strings down, 4, 3, 2, and 1, because then your D note, your D string, is on the bottom of your D chord, and everybody's happy. If you hit the 5th string, it's fine. It's an A string. So it's not quite as solid and quite as set in its ways as the 4th string pattern, but it's fine. Okay, just don't hit that 6th string, which is an E, and that's going to sound terrible. Okay, especially if you have an electric guitar, you don't want E going down when you're playing a D chord. It's not gonna work out. Okay, so now you got your D chord, and then this is what we love about D and A7. They're best friends. They hang around all the time. A7 is just index finger up, and then your middle finger follows it. Lose your ring finger. There's A7. You can play all 5 strings on this one, but it's better off just to play. You can play all 6 strings on this one, but it's better just to play 5. Okay, because that's your A string on the bottom of your A7 chord, and it all sounds wonderful. Okay. To get back and forth between the 2, index finger up 1, middle finger follows. Get rid of your ring finger to get back. Middle finger drops down 1. I'm sorry, index finger drops down 1, middle finger drops down 1, ring finger jumps back out. That's it. Okay. When you are singing and strumming, hopefully you're not singing very often, because if you sing like me, it's not good. Or hopefully, motorcycle. Hopefully you're a wonderful singer and you can just do chords and not have to worry about learning to actually play the instrument. If you are wanting to spice up your chords, you're thinking about claw position. Okay. Hang down your head, Tom Dooley. Okay, there's that. There's also, as always, arpeggio patterns. We're in a 4 beat per measure song, so I would probably try to get in 8 plucks. Hang down your head, Tom Dooley. Hang down your head and cry. Okay, so that's probably how I would do it. In fact, that's exactly what I wrote out on the arpeggios down there. Again, you don't have to play my arpeggios the way I write them out. You should know what they are and how to make them, to take advantage of them in your playing. Okay, so what we're going to be doing first, let's go through and sing it. We won't sing the whole thing. Let's go twice through. So when you hit 8, you see the double bar with the 2 dots. That means go back, and in this case, you're going to go back to measure 1. And then we're going to go play all the way down to the bottom. Okay, let's just do it twice through. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hang down your head, Tom Dooley. Hang down your head and cry. Hang down your head, Tom Dooley. Poor boy, you're bound to die. Reckon this time tomorrow. Reckon just where I'll be. Down in some lonesome valley, hanging from a white oak tree. That's what you got. Okay. Now, not a ton of if you are not a singer, there's nothing here for you. Okay. But just D chords and A7 is just very straightforward. Hopefully. Now let's go through and play the melody again. Level 2. Hopefully this is something that's making sense to you. If it's not, definitely send me an email and let's make sure that you're doing things right way. But we want to get the melody out. Okay. So let's start with a 2 on the 3rd string. That's going to be your first note. And then remember, 2s are here, 3s are here. There are no other notes in this. Okay, so any 2, you're just going to get the right string and pluck that. Any 3, you're going to use your ring finger. Any string, pluck that. Here we go. Ugh, I'm sitting on this stool and making my butt hurt. All right, from the bottom, from the top, not from the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 2, 2, 0, 3, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 0, 3, 0, 4, 2, 2, 2, 0, 3, 0, 0, 0, 0, 2, 3, 0, 3. Do it again. 2, 4, 2, 2, 2, 0, 3, 2, 2. 2, 2, 2, 0, 3, 0, 2, 2, 2, 0, 3, 0, 0, 0, 2, 3, 0, 3. Let's play it one more time. 3, 4. 2, 2, 2, 0, 3, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 0, 3, 0, 3, 4. 2, 2, 2, 0, 3, 0, 0, 0, 0, 2, 3, 0, 3, 2, 3, 4. And let it ring out. Don't let up on your note there. Just let it ring. Okay, so 1860s song. It's got 8 measures. People are still singing it today. We're not 100% sure that Mr. Land is its author, but we're pretty sure, right? And I would say with a song like this, these days, an 8-measure song would be pretty hard to get out the door. And interestingly, that when we're studying music and we're trying to use it on an instrument to get it, that a song like this is perfect, right? We want a simple, straightforward song that has plenty of repeats in there, so we get a chance to really practice on it. All right. Now let's go. We've already covered the arpeggio line down there on the bottom, just to get when you're singing. If you want to play it instead of strumming, you would use that guitar line down there and it's an arpeggio, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then when you get to the A chord, the A7, your thumb is going to go up to the 5th string, and then your other fingers are going to follow. So let me give you a good example. I'll sing it, and then we'll just do that arpeggio. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hang down your head, Tom Dooley. Hang down your head and cry. Hang down your head, Tom Dooley. Poor boy, you're bound to die. And then you would repeat it as many times as you needed to, or you might just go ahead and that's enough. Show business at the end. Sounds nice. It's a pretty little tune. Again, I'm against the whole concept in the song, but I think the melody is really nice. Okay. All right. Final thought for today. Boy, we zipped through this one. This song at this point in your career, 20 some songs into level 2. Hopefully this stuff is making sense for you and not terribly, not stressing your life out. Let's go through and start with grabbing the D chord, as we always do in fingerstyle. We're going to grab that D chord, and then I'm going to go through one time, and I'm going to play thumb down. Okay. Then the second time through, I'm going to pluck it. Okay. And then the 3rd time through, maybe a mixture. Okay. So let's go through and talk about just moments that I think are important. If measure 1, if you're plucking. remember, you're going to raise your ring finger up at the next to last note, and then put it back down, and then grab all 4 strings. Now 2 and 3 are just there for pretty. Anytime anytime I'm writing out an arrangement and I see a dotted half note, a half note, a whole note, something with a lot of space in it, I'm going to put in some decorative notes there. That's traditional fingerstyle. We don't do that in classical, because in classical they tell you every single note to play. You're supposed to play those notes and no other notes. Even those I rearrange, but you're supposed to do what the paper says. In fingerstyle, you do what the paper says, but then any chance you get to improvise, to toss in some extra decorative notes, to add in our arpeggio pattern, you take advantage of that moment. So that's what that 2 and 3 are doing, hanging out in the end of measure 2. Okay, and we're still on a D chord, so then we're going to play that same exact thing again from measure 1 as in measure 3. And then here's what's important on this arrangement. I have a skip string, right? Measure is the D string I'm skipping on that 0 skip 0 2 0. That is meant to be played with your thumb on the A string and then these 3 fingers down on the lower string. And then let me put the correct chord on it, it'll sound right. Okay. Now, a lot of times I won't bother to do that because it's not that important. You run out of fingers anyway, so you have to make choices, and that would be the obvious choice. Sometimes I would put a 2 right in that missing string, so you could do that, right? But in this case, it's really pretty clear. I'm supposed to pluck. And then I've still got to hit 2, 2. Don't take that as the gospel truth when you see something like that, where it's clear that you're going to have to pluck it in order to make it happen. Maybe you plug it, maybe you go ahead and put a strum in there. Whichever you want to do, that's absolutely fine. Don't let the paperwork run you. You run the paperwork. Different in classical guitar again. That when in classical guitar, first of all, they get rid of the tablature and they get rid of the chords, and they're really wanting you to play what is already written down. They don't want you to be creative. They want you to bring the best you to what is you're supposed to do. And so it's a higher, I don't know, it's a different level of thinking, a different place to get to in your guitar life, where you can play exactly what's on the paper and also use the paper as advice to play something else. Jazz guys do that all the time. In jazz, you just get the melody line and some super weird chords, and then you go see what you can do with that. And that's these different styles of guitar have that. In rock, we don't put any of the melody in. We expect the singer to figure that part out. We're in there trying to make cool sounds with this electric machine that we have. In blues, it's all about bending the notes and picking, half tones and that type of stuff. And so each of the guitar styles has their own thing. In fingerstyle, which is what we work on around when I'm around, this is what this says to do. But I might do that. Very different feelings, but you kind of decide what makes the most sense for you. All right, so there's measure 4. Then when we get to measure 5, again, it's a repeat of measure 1, only you're using the A7 chord instead of the D chord. Where are we? You're going to have to put down your second 2 to get the melody note there. You're going to put your ring finger down on that first string, and then you're going to go grab the 3. That sounds cool. And I probably would do that, and then open, and then a D chord. Okay. I'm probably these days not having when was it? I wrote this last year. These days, instead of doing a D chord and then thumb, index, middle, I'm probably going to do thumb, middle, thumb, index, middle, index, and drop it down before dropping back up to the song. So, all right, that's it. It was a short lesson today. We're going to be doing 3 times through, One time, do it one way. Another time, do it a different way. A third time, do it the different way. Maybe strum and sing it one time, then go through and pluck it one note at a time, and then do a tough axis for the third time through. Or do tough axis all three times. Try to do them a little bit differently. Or if you're working on consistency, see if you can do them exactly the same, right? So 3 times through, and then we're done, right? Game face on. 1, 2, 3, 4. To the top. Last time through. Nice, pretty sending. And just let that thing ring out. I was just trying to think, what would be a good D out here? Probably 10? Yeah. So if you go to, you get to the end, you want to add something fancy, put a 10 on. Right? You know, or give it a, or low D on. Right? Any of those would be a nice ending to it. Again, this is one of those songs that you can really use to get your tools in shape. I keep blowing as we're coming around. I'm blowing measure 5 up pretty good. I would go back through and spend a little bit of time really digging into measure 5. What the heck am I doing there? Why am I messing that up? And then, you know, if I can, I want to play the song faster. But it's a sad song, right? So playing it slow is fine. And, you know, and then once you get the song down, you're like, hey, I like this song. It's kind of fun to play. Then you can start thinking about turning it into a reggae strum or a Hawaiian chunk, right? Change it into something more modern. You can have a lot of fun with these older, simpler songs, turning them into something really ridiculous, probably. But taking your take on it, find your artistic center and find something different to do with the song. Those of you who are listening, and there's a handful of you, you could take that melody and rewrite it with way more positive and way more interesting lyrics. I believe that is the composer's corner on this one. Wrote about the murderer instead of the victim. How about fix it? You know, don't write about Laura Foster if you don't know Laura Foster. I don't know. She probably is a lovely girl, or she might have been horrible. I don't know. But I do know that you could write about bunnies and kitties and probably have a better topic than what they chose. So, all right, guys, that's enough for today. I hope you have a wonderful, what is today, Monday? Hope you have a wonderful Monday night. Hopefully you'll be here tomorrow, Tuesday. I forget what we're working on tomorrow. Let me take a quick peek and see what we're going to be doing. We're going to knock out, When the Saints Go Marching. It's a brand new arrangement. I just finished it and just posted it. So, it's one of those songs with great big long notes in it. When the saints chunk go marching in, chunk chunk. So we would probably be thinking about, from an instrumental standpoint, trying to put something in those long notes that the singers would sing. So hopefully that was fun today. Hopefully you have a nice song to work on tonight. And go download When the Saints Go Marching In, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great evening, and I'm going to end the stream.